Good evening, my claytastic people. Christina, Claymazing Artworks from California. It's pretty hot here today, about 90. It is, what is this, October 2nd. I haven't done a kiln opening in quite a while. I've had some cataracts removed. I was making a lot of mistakes. I accidentally put in 20 coasters that I thought had been glazed with clear or white in my kiln, and they were all this parts. So anyway, I quit doing things for a little bit because I really couldn't see color. But anyway, I'm back at it. And first of all, I wanted to show you, I had broken a plate on this new, to me new, bee mix with speckles. It's a beautiful, beautiful clay to work with. Unfortunately, after buying about 5 boxes, I've heard that it bloats at 6, so I'm being very careful. I tried a new firing arrangement here on my kiln. I tried new glazes. Everything in there's new, so I have no idea what it looks like down below. But anyway, on this, oh shoot, it's getting kind of dark. On this sample, I wanted a really pretty gray, and Cara from Amico said to get a pretty gray, you can mix Tangelo Celadon from Amico and Sky from Amico. I did equal parts and got a beautiful gray. Let me get this light. I don't think it makes any difference. And got a beautiful gray. I did equal parts here. I did 2 parts Sky, 1 part Tangelo. This was 3 parts Sky and 1 part Tangelo. And this was 3 parts Tangelo and 1 part Sky. This turned into a very nice taupey color without pink. A lot of taupe that you'll find will have a lot of pink in it, and it'll sometimes burn out because of the pink. I was shocked. I really don't like taupey colors, but it turned out beautiful. These are some of the coasters that I had to glaze after they've been fired at 2,167 degrees. These is bee mix. The taupe turned out beautiful. Chattered, always shows well with Celadon, and absolutely gorgeous. Finished out gorgeous, nice and shiny, not one pinhole, nothing. I'm a heavy glazer, but turned out beautiful. And here's a blue cobalt one that I did. Didn't spray it with hairspray, didn't do anything. All I did was reglaze it. Didn't heat it, just waited for it to dry. It takes a lot longer to dry, but it turned out very nicely. This is actually, it was going to be a little pot that I had made, and it got a little thin in the middle. I'm going to bring this down and let you see it. I don't need to see my face. A little pot, and it got a little thin in the middle, so it wrinkled, and I thought, well, you know what, I'll just leave it. I'll put a hole in it. I'll see if it goes through the bisque, which it did. And then it went beautiful through the glaze firing. Turned out really cool. Wish I could repeat it. I'll try. But it got very thin here, started to wrinkle, collapse on itself, but it turned out really nicely. And that has that taupey 3 parts Tangelo, 1 part Sky Celadon on it. I don't know what I do with my table, but I'll bring these out here. I also use this new glaze, to me, which is Mako Stoneware. It's a matte lemon meringue. The thicker you put it on, the more white it'll model white in there. It's a nice soft yellow, nice matty color. And on the outside, I did the Honey Flux. This is on Bee Mix. 056, cone 56. I made this in 2019. It's taken me this long to glaze it. It's very heavily weighted because I'm going to put a brass frog in the middle and just stick some tall bird of paradise in it, and I didn't want it to fall over or people to knock it. And so all of those planters that I make with the frogs in the middle, I do make them heavy at the bottom. This is, okay, this is a refire. This is on the B mix with speckles. Use my GR pottery form to make this pasta bowl. Hello, Jeff. And I had put it on the speckle buff, which people told me bloats at 6. So that's why I did the new firing, which I did a cone 5 slow with a 10-minute hold with a slow cooling. And I don't know about anything else, but we'll see if anything turned out. It didn't melt enough. It didn't have enough melt in it. So when I stuck it back in there, that's why I did the hold. For this glaze is specifically made for, well, you can use it on anything, but for dishes. It doesn't scratch as much. You can't cut into it as much. It's a harder glaze. It's a satin white liner made by Coyote, lead-free, non-toxic, food safe. I put it on the speckle. I don't know if it was the clay or the magnesium that's in the speckles that it didn't fire that well. These are my glaze chips that I put on the edge. They needed actually to, I think it didn't fire enough. It needed to be a little flatter, so that's why I refired it. And now I can see a semi sheen, because it is a semi matte, this glaze. Turned out beautiful. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep my dishes this heavy, but I don't want them to chip either, so that'll be another story. Okay, now I'm going to pull out my plate. This was a refire as well. I don't know, but I have to refire it again. I don't know. It doesn't have the sheen to it. You can kind of feel the bumps. I don't think it melted enough over the magnesium. The glaze here from the chips seemed to be pretty flat. Turned out beautiful. This also was a GR pottery form. It was one of his new forms, which is the RD2 forms. Gives it a much smoother profile. But I don't know. I'll stick that in. We'll see again and refire. We'll see how it does. Also, now this was on that plate. You know what? I may have accidentally put 4 coats. Maybe that's why. I'm not sure. Because this I put 3 coats on. Did the glazed chips around the middle, around the edge, and it turned out beautiful. You can see the sheen. It melted nicely. This was a one fire. I mean, not a one fire. I mean, I did do bisque through and a glaze firing. I didn't have to refire it, but it turned out beautiful. This is also a RD2 form from GR Pottery Forms. Turned out very nicely. I love those. I have every one of those forms from Jeff. Let's see. These are the Cobalt. I also did a sample plate. I had put a bunch of, actually I put 27 plates in the kiln on edge, not 37 plates on edge. This is a new clay to me. I wasn't sure, how it was going to react. I've never put anything on edge before. My plates, someone had suggested it. That's very smart about clay. And out of the 37, 27 of my plates warped. But that is what I'm practicing on. This was warped. I don't know if you can see it here. Kind of went flatter after I put it in the glaze firing, but I went ahead and used it as a glaze test. Everything on here has 3 coats. I use my pinstripe tape there to tape it off. It turned out very nicely. Now if I'd known, I would have put a hook in the back, but it wasn't planned to make a plate. So anyway, that turned out nicely. And then, let's see, let's move this shelf. Hold on. Okay, here was a big mistake. I had cataracts and I was legally blind. I mean, I could not see out of one eye. The other eye, everything was quadrupled. Took me a year and a half before I could get them done. They canceled me twice. So these are my pasta bowls. I was not sure whether I was going to make a thicker bowl, a wider rim, whatever. But anyway, it's on the Speckle Buff Cone 5. I wanted to do the lemon meringue, but sometimes matte has a tendency to get silver marks when you use utensils. So on here, what I had planned on doing is doing the Amico Celadon yellow and mixing it half and half with mixing clear. Unfortunately, I couldn't read, and I used half and half clear satin. So, I don't know. Not really in love with it at all. I should have done the entire thing in this. This is the flux, the honey flux. I love that color. It's a nice warm white. I mean, it's okay. I think if I do a big pasta bowl and make a set, or maybe even refire it and do something, I don't know. But anyway, of course, I couldn't do one. I had to do 4. But you know what? I just noticed I have a little crack on this one. This will be a practice bowl. That's what I'll use. Everything else is fine. I'll do some pinstriping on it. Maybe I'll put another kind of glaze on it. We'll see. Yeah. There's 4 of those. These are all with the GR pottery forms as well. I use the little 6.5 inch RD2 form, which has that nice slope on the bottom. And then I use an 8, they call the OG, which has a 45 degree on the form. And then I had it upside down and I made, I think this has like an inch rim that I put on here. This was a inch and a half rim on this one. I think I like the 1.5 inch rim, or even bigger. We'll see. Okay, let's get down to the next layer and let's see what those are. Of course, I did make a pasta bowl with the yellow mistake. Maybe it's not too bad. So this was made, oh my goodness, I wish I would have just used the entire honey flux. This profile was made with the 9.5 GR pottery forms, the new one, the RD2 forms that has the little slope, and then I added, I believe, a 14 inch 45 degree angle, and then I used a template that was, looks like about 1 inch. The honey flux looks beautiful. There's not a pit in it. It is absolutely gorgeous. And here's the yellow. Tell me if you like it. I don't know. It was supposed to be, which it is. It's not as intense yellow because I did mix, I believe, equal parts of the satin clear, but it was supposed to be a mixing clear to bring down the depth of the color. But it also took that part of the shine away because it was a matte. It's hard to see. It's getting dark. But it's nice. I mean, it's a 15-inch wide bowl, probably 4.5 inches. You know, I can see some pink in this, especially since it's starting to get evening. I can see the pink in this honey flux because it is a taupey pink. But it's pretty. And I like the speckles. So far, I haven't had any problem with the clay, which is nice to know. Some people say it bloats, some people say it doesn't. Turned out beautiful. And then this is an OG. You can kind of see the gel pottery form, nice and smooth transition. I believe this is a 6.5 inch. Of course, with the yellow, with the satin clear on the top. It's oh, I'm shocked. It turned out beautiful. It turned out, I mean, no pinholes, nothing. Absolutely gorgeous. Actually, kind of reminds me of when I was growing up, the color of my kitchen. Here's a plate. Same thing. I think I was just trying to see what a set would look like. The reason I don't like it, because a pink, it's a cool, this is, it's not a beige to where it's a warm color. It's a beige that's a cool color, and it does not go to me with the yellow because that's your warmth. I'm a hairdresser by trade. I'm a colorist. Yeah. But we'll see. Maybe somebody in the family will like it. This, actually, the yellow looks really nice out there, out in the light. It really is pretty. I think it needed it. But anyway, I have to say that, where are my cones? This is the cone pack from the top level. So as you can see, I pretty much got a 5.5, which is perfect. That's what I was shooting for. Didn't want a 6 because I didn't want that B mix with speckles to bloat. This is the middle level. Little more melt on the cone. That's the 6. This is 654. 654. So a little bit more of a bend on the 6. So this got to a hot 5. Beginning of a 6. This is the cone pack from the bottom level, which was pretty cool. It only got to a, looks like a 4.5. I don't know, but everything looked nice. This plate right here is also a gel pottery form. That glaze, that satin white liner from Coyote, made for plates, is beautiful. It is absolutely, it's smooth, it's gorgeous. It's a my matte, not a pinhole, no crawling. But anyway, I couldn't find this plate for a while because I had put this underglaze transfer from Temu that I had purchased. It was, I don't know. I don't think it crawled. I don't think it did well with the magnesium. There's a couple, it's not pitted. It's almost like I didn't get the transferred enough. But anyway, I couldn't find it for a while because I had put a clear glaze on it, and with my eyes were so bad, I just thought it was a plate with nothing on it. Stuck it in there and found my plate. If you ever want to try the transfers from Temu, they're really nice. They're not as expensive as the other ones, but this transfer is pretty thick. It's very thick. You have to be careful. You have to really make sure you get it transferred, that you don't flood it out to where it'll run. So, but it turned out very nice. Very, very nice. So that's it. And I have a whole new load right now ready to go into to bisque. This load taught me a lot. I know a lot more about my glazes. I know a lot more about my clay. I'm not afraid to use my clay now. I have a new firing schedule that I really like. And this turned out beautiful. It turned out nice and smooth, even though it was a lot cooler on the bottom. So, you never know. So anyway, another one will be up soon. I thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you. Hope to see you again. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think. And if you could suggest anything about refiring my plate, because everything else turned out all right, but you really can't, I don't know. Can you see? It's just, can you see those bumps there? It's just not melted enough. And this is the second firing. And yet all the other ones turned out beautiful. The back side is even better, and you can see a little bit of a gloss. But it's this front side. I mean, that would bug me if I cut something on that plate. But I do like my glaze chips. I actually did about 20, 25 different colors. Put them on parchment paper, put them on top of my car, let them dry, then put them in a little styrofoam cup. And just different colors. Oh, all of them, of course, with Cone 5/6 glazes. Anyway, I thank you. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again. And have a wonderful, blessed day. Thank you.